Hello, y'all. NoTap here. Today I'll be taking y'all to stealth school. Stealth is one of the quintessential parts of this game, as it is one of the ways that you can defeat stuff, and it's pretty much the only way you can complete one type of commando or one type of operation. Commandos. Commandos were required for a major order. What major order was that? It was during the March to Cyberstan. The two war bonds that have stealth items, technically three, are the ODST war bonds and Redacted Regiment. Redacted Regiment is dedicated to stealth. You get the R72 sensor, P45 re-educator, AR-59 suppressor, and then Null Cipher and Shadow Paragon armor sets. You also get the C4 pack, which is extremely powerful, as well as concealed insertion. ODST is weaker, but if you already have Redacted Regiment, you might as well get this, as you get the SOCOM, as well as the M7S. The M7S, compared to the base stats of the suppressor, it's better. Sure, you can fix its recoil issues a little bit and get it to have more capacity. However, the M7S comes with 7 spare mags, 90 damage, and 872 RPM, which is slightly better than with the vertical foregrip on the suppressor, which comes with 80 damage, 45 capacity, 10 recoil, and 850 RPM, making the M7S win. Is it customizable? No, but it's better at base. Hell, it's better than the suppressor. Its rating with its comparison to the suppressor is not equal, as this is meant for close stealth, while this one's meant for sniping. However, in my opinion, these are interchangeable. For a carrier loadout on a commando operation for the tactical camera, you'll typically want to bring something that can do high damage as a sidearm. I consider the P4 Senator to be pretty good sidearm. It hard-hitting, good damage. The ODST Warbond, or Obedient Democracy Support Troopers, which is actually really cool how they did that, also gives you the Feet First passive. However, this is worse. And the base Warbond has the Diligence Counter Sniper, which has a lower sound profile than most other weapons, smoke grenades, and scout armor. Medium scout looks better than the medium armor of the Redacted Regiment, in my opinion. Now, another suggestion would be democratic detonation for the grenade pistol. It's not related at all, but it allows you to close spawners with smokes, as you'll want smoke grenades rather than your typical basic grenade. Your other option is the smoke screen grenade. Smoke screen, however, is worse than base smoke in my opinion because it has a much smaller radius. It's better for a quick escape. Now, as for the Superstore, you can get the Sanctioner armor. The Sanctioner armor is literally just the same thing as Shadow Paragon, meaning Meaning, unless you're doing it for fashion, do not buy it. Now, if you want to work up the ranks of stealth, here's what I recommend.
You could be the final determinant of its salvation.
On Hydrobius, start with about a level 4 mission. This will allow you to get familiar with the mechanics, such as stuff like line of sight, hearing, and other such things. Then bump it up to level 8, then 10. And then switch to normal Illuminated. And once you're done with that, you can finally get to bots. Bots are the second hardest faction to stealth. If you have a literal death wish, you can go on bugs. But if you have that's only if you have a death wish. Your commando intel operations are what's going to allow you to grab a ton of other things. However, the one operation type that tests your stealth capabilities the most are commando operations.
Commando operations present a challenge for only the most elite of the galaxy's elite. Will you brave the gauntlet, Helldiver?
Basically, how these work are you don't have any Super Destroyer support. And the main problem is that 2 out of 3 are also entirely stealth dependent. Same thing with the Super Destroyer part. You have to strike very precisely.
In righteous liberation. Ready for another mission, Helldiver?
Now, if you've been using your sensor or suppressor in frontline combat like a maniac, here's builds I recommend for them. Quick shot sniper for the sensor. It works mediocrely, but it's meant for short to mid range, but at long range it falls off. Same thing if you use the red dot. And the only other build I would recommend is a depth shot. This allows it to operate at longer ranges. However, its subsonic ammunition prevents it from being placed much higher. For the suppressor, you want to use red tube sight or 4x combat scope. You'll want to be using laser sight in either short or drum magazine. Drum if you have laser angled foregrip. If you're a poor Helldiver, though, and you don't really have any other better options, go with a plasma loadout, as plasma has a lower sound profile than most weapons. Hell, I think the Loyalist would probably be good. There's really not much else you can have go wrong. The M7S is from the Halo Warbond and is extremely good. It allows you to close the distance and strike with precise devastation. The sensor is for people that want to take a more slow and methodical playstyle. And the suppressor is a flat-out worse version of the M7S. However, it actually has attachments, which means it's not worse in most of the time, but it's worse if you have M7S. And the M7S has a very good ergonomics, despite that foregrip. Anyway, that'll be it from me. Nah. You wanna know something? Here's a little secret. Enemies about line of sight do not care what you're wearing. If you get caught in an enemy's line of sight, and if you're pretty close, they'll detect you. Anyway, here's what I recommend. First off, the M7S. Second off, either the Senator or SOCOM. And then for throwable, it's dependent if it's commando or not. If it's commando, bring smokes. If it's not commando, you can use stratagems for smoke. But if you're not using stratagems for smoke, use smoke grenades and use your stratagems for base destruction. If you're using your stratagems for smoke, bring frags. And how stealth mechanics mainly work is dependent on your armor and how far away you are. Sound is the biggest one, but line of sight is also affected. It says reduces range at which enemies can detect the wearer by 40%. That basically means you can be 40% closer to the enemy without them spotting you, if they see you. The P4 Senator is for if you get spotted. It hits hard and is extremely powerful. However, its height over bore is atrocious. The SOCOM, from the looks of it, has a very good height over bore. The M7S can also be used if you're discovered to a lesser degree against light enemies, but against mediums and especially heavies, it's damn near useless. Smoke grenades are if you get discovered, but you don't have much ammo left for your M7S. My one suggestion is if you are using the sensor, which I have been using it for a while, as you can see. It has a bit of a noticeable drop. And if anything, use a laser sight. Laser sights allow you to ping enemies, and it allows your teammates to pick up on what enemies are going to pop in the head or other area. Now, thing is, your basic short magazine gives you a basic. It gives you base 1600. However, this also gives you 1600. But basically, if you prefer handling, use short. But if you want long, but if you want more ammunition because of the basic mag, as well as less time between reloads, more time between reloads, pick extended. But for me, they're pretty interchangeable. For up close, this is a build I recommend. It allows you to just get away with popping a few guys. But at the same time, and this is for if you don't have M7S. Hell, you need everything on the first page in order to unlock the second page as well as the suppressor. If you're a scuffer, this is most likely going to be true.
Elite soldiers adjust their fire mode so they can keep the killing going all day long. Oh yeah, that's good. Brass tactics. Use them or die trying.
Anyway, that is if you're using either M7S or suppressor, which you're mostly going to be using M7S if you're following my tips. I get people don't really like SMGs, as they're more so the laughing stock. But you're playing a video game. Have some fun with it. Anyway, that'll be out from me. This is the first episode of Stealth School. Basic tips and guidance.